Hi. In my last video, I highlighted the new capabilities available in Db2 11.5 around in-database machine learning, with built-in stored procedures and the ability to create custom user-defined functions in Python. In one of the examples, I created a simple model using scikit-learn in a Jupyter notebook. I exported the model to disk, and then I loaded the model into a Db2 UDF to perform in-database inferencing and make predictions. In this video, I'm going to show how you can do the same thing with a model built using the AutoAI functionality in IBM Watson Studio, which is a part of IBM Cloud Pak for Data. AutoAI uses advanced automated machine learning capabilities to simplify model development through things like automated feature engineering, hyperparameter optimization, and model selection and tuning. Simple enough so that you don't have to be a data scientist to get started with it. And with just a couple of clicks, you can quickly and easily deploy your model into Watson Machine Learning, also a part of IBM Cloud Pak for Data. To keep things simple, I'm going to use the same iris flower dataset that I used in the other video, where the species of flower can be predicted based on various measurements from it. I'm already in Watson Studio in Cloud Pak for Data here, and I've already created a project and uploaded the iris dataset to it. I'm going to start an AutoAI experiment by filling in some basic information and choosing the column I'm trying to predict in the dataset, which is the flower species. You can see that it has automatically determined that this is a classification problem. So let's kick this off and see what it comes up with. As it's running, you can view its progress from a few different perspectives that you can keep an eye on. Now that it's done, we can see that 8 pipelines were generated, and we can scroll down and see how they all performed. Pipeline 2 has the highest accuracy, but I can also rank them based on other metrics like precision and recall. At this point, I could deploy the model in Watson Machine Learning so that it's active and accessible through APIs. But instead, I'm going to save the experiment as a notebook. Here's a quick look at the contents of the notebook that was generated, which gives you access to the model pipelines and the metadata associated with the experiment. And it even gives you the code to execute the full experiment again from within the notebook. A number of pipelines were generated, but I want to go ahead with pipeline 2, which had the highest accuracy. Ultimately, what I want is to get the resulting model onto my Db2 server, but I can't just download it. So I'm going to add some code here to the notebook to attach to the project, and then save my model to the project's object storage bucket. Now, I can go back to my project and open up the associated object storage instance, and then I can open up the bucket associated with my project. And you can tell from the name of it which one it is. And then find the file that I just saved the model to. And from here, this file can then be downloaded and copied wherever I want to use it. Now, there might be other approaches for exporting a model out of Watson Studio, in particular these AutoAI models, but this is an approach that worked for me. Let's go to the Db2 11.5 server now, and here's the source code for my UDF. You can see it's a very simple program, and here it's loading the model in, and then calling the predict method with the data passed into the UDF, and then returning the predicted species back to the caller. Of course, there are dependencies that must be installed in the environment, the Python packages that are needed, which depends on the type of model, like the light GBM package, for instance. And you can work through those dependencies as you write and debug your code. But for simplicity, I did all of that in advance. Now let's create the function and run it with some example measurements. Actually, one thing I want to point out first is that I happen to do my model development work with an x86-based Cloud Pak for Data environment, just because it's what I had handy. But Cloud Pak for Data is also available on IBM Power and IBM Z. But that model I happened to build on x86 just now, I'm going to use it here with Db2 running on Linux on IBM Power, so I can develop on my platform of choice and deploy where my enterprise databases run, which is on Power for many organizations. Alright, so here's the command to create the function, followed by some calls to test it out. All looks great. Before we go, just to summarize, what we've been able to do here is in database inferencing with Db2, with a model built using automatic machine learning capabilities in IBM Watson Studio and IBM Cloud Pak for Data. Thanks for watching.